Hello again. This is Passion for Purpose. We are live here at the Tribe Unity headquarters. My name is V. Fournier, and I have the pleasure to welcome our guest today, Dr. Marlena. So, explain to them, who is Dr. Marlena?
Well, Dr. Marlena is a septic survivor. I had surgery several years ago and wound up on life support and had to kind of rethink and figure out the next steps. I was one of those individuals who grew up with a pretty good life and found myself at 39 sort of lost. My kids were leaving the nest and my husband kind of doing his own thing, and my job just wasn't quite satisfying. And I tried to fill that void with food. So I kind of, did this, and then realized I was gaining weight and went in for surgery. And that surgery turned into being 10 weeks on life support and learning learning how to walk again and write again and really think again. But what I did find laying there in that bed is that God had left me here for a reason, and I was going to explore that, and my purpose hadn't been fulfilled. And I want to make sure, as Dr. Marlena, that no other woman feels that way, because men usually have their own thing kind of going on. They kind of figure it out, but sometimes as women we get a little stuck. And so I grew up in a time when we had manicured lawns and Friday night fish fries, and I mean I still can smell them now.
Right.
And a good football and cruising and travel, but feeling empty and not understanding why. It kind of led me to a path where I almost died. I mean, I'm truly a walking miracle.
Wow.
And so my goal and my purpose as Dr. Marlena is to make sure that I am a resource for others. God's the source, that they don't have to figure out some of those steps that I had to go through and figure out to find my worth. I want to help them and usher them into that.
Right. So, I mean, let's kind of go back into that whole, like you said, you grew up in a society or in a time where essentially society was very much, the white picket fence and the, husband works, woman, raises the kids. And, obviously there's nothing wrong with that. I love my mom, So, but yes, now coming into the new state of being where it's like, every single person really has a purpose. Not saying, like I said, mothers, that is your purpose. Like I'm all about that for sure. But yeah, now mothers are becoming the person also working as well as raising the kids.
That's true. So, aligning to my purpose meant I had to make those tough sacrifices as a mother.
Right.
I have 4 boys, and the oldest is 31 now. The youngest is 21. So the 10-year span, you have a lot of varying variables in there with what type of kids and what they're doing.
Right.
And so I had to find my voice so I could be an advocate for them. And by finding my voice, I found my voice through finding my purpose.
Yes.
And understanding what that really meant for me to be whole. And if I wasn't whole, I couldn't help them.
Right.
And so, my football, track, we've done a little bit of everything. And so when you're focusing on being super mom, you kind of lose yourself. And so when they start leaving the nest, what do you identify with? Because we are our titles. Let's be real.
Yeah.
We're moms. And or we're the director at work. We're the wife. But what happens when all those things go away?
Right.
What are we left with? And that was me. They didn't really go away as in losing them, but they started. My kids started having their own lives. And isn't that what we wanted to do?
Yeah.
We want to get them to a place where they go off, but then we start feeling empty, or at least I started feeling empty. And I'm sure there's someone else out there that's sitting there right now at their table, and they're saying, well, if I'm not the mother and I'm not the director of the company anymore, and maybe your husband has left, because I'm in my second marriage, you know, so the first marriage didn't work out. Maybe that's gone awry, or the second husband's, you know, he's doing him. Well, who am I?
Right.
What do I do?
Right.
How do I get to the next thing? And that's what I do best. So my corporate career, I'm a director of human resources. Organizational development and change is my specialty.
Love it.
So large scale transformations help the company come to a culture. So two companies merge and we want to have one culture.
Right.
So what I've done now is taken that mindset and let's help the individual transition. So maybe the individual makes a really good cookie.
Right.
Right? Can you smell the chocolate chips right now? Right.
Yes.
Okay,
I
so they
love
make a
cookie.
really, really good cookie, but they're sitting there going, I'll never be able to market this cookie because there's the Mrs. Fields and Famous Amos and the Keeplers, and where would my cookie fit in?
Right.
But we have to change that mindset, and that's what I do. I help you change that mindset
I love that.
to know that your cookie has space and room because somebody would like your cookie.
Yeah.
But you have to get it out there for anyone. So you have to take that leap of faith
Yeah.
and go for it.
Yeah.
And I as an entrepreneur myself, I own several businesses. I show the individual the steps to do that.
Beautiful. Yeah, and we talk about it actually quite a lot on the show, and Tribe Unity is definitely an advocate of your mindset. It starts with your mindset.
Absolutely.
And then also just being able to completely align yourself with your passion. So it's about first having that mindset,
Yep.
believing in yourself,
Yeah, absolutely.
and then really aligning yourself and knowing that the universe, God, will
Yes.
definitely support you and doing what God made you out to be.
You do your work. Now, my path was education. So, my why was my grandmother who raised me from 3 days old. I had to sing young mom. In the 60s, wanting to do her thing.
Right.
And I have abandonment issues. So, now I understand, at my age, what those abandonment issues came from. She was there, but all my friends had their parents. And I didn't understand why I was different. I had my grandparents. So for years, I had that, and I had to work on it.
Right.
And that was why I didn't have good relationships and friendships with people, because I kind of kept them at bay.
Right.
But I used that as I got older to realize, well, if I'm feeling like this, somebody else is feeling like this.
Yeah.
And it started having those conversations. But then once I stepped out of that jail, you can't shut me up now.
Yeah.
I want to talk to people because I don't want anybody sitting there
Yeah.
thinking they have an unusual situation,
Yeah.
because it's not. And
Right.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, totally going off of what you said. And I love it. Like I said, we had such great conversations. But what I was just going to add to what you said is, I mean, you really took what normal or what other people unfortunately would do, which is take their story and kind of create a victim story, and you made it into a victory story.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The V.
The true victory. But when you're a walking miracle,
Yeah.
as you know, you're a walking miracle. What else can you do with this fire
Right.
that God puts in you to get the message out? He is the source, and now I'm the resource
Yeah.
to make sure that no one feels or felt the way I used to feel.
Yeah.
So let's connect that synergy. Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. I mean, a rebirth would do that
Yeah, absolutely.
to you, right?
Yeah.
I never had a situation like that, although there were times where like I cracked my head open and stuff like that. And yeah, actually that's how Tribe Unity started. It's a funny story. We get to talk about that later. But, I went through actually an emotional intelligence program that it kind of does that. It's so experiential. So you kind of go through essentially a rebirth, and I can only imagine yours actually was a complete actual rebirth. but what that really does
Yeah.
to somebody when you re-jolt and you're like, wait a second, my time was almost just up.
No, it was up. I was on the up. So later, we got the medical records, so they were there. And one day I saw the blue folder they were in. I said, let me read this. So I went into the medical record, and they turned the voltage up and zapped me. So zip, yeah, really, I was gone. I flatlined.
Wow.
Yeah, not once, twice. They
Wow.
turned it. Even my surgeon, he came in to see me one day, and he said, I know you're mad at me. I was like, what would I be mad at you? You didn't get up that morning and said, let's go break Marlena. And I was like, I'm not mad at you. He said, I did all that I could, and I didn't think you would make it. But then that's what I had to tell him. I said, no, I'm not mad, because, see, you were the instrument. God was, again, the source.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm still here.
I completely believe that, guys.
Yeah.
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 Everything that happens, everything that happens is all for a reason. We hear that, we say that all the time, but like, really, guys, sit in that for a second and really feel that.
really. Because I was in a coma for 10 weeks. Not a traditional coma like where you hit your head and you have brain damage. But my coma was, as the doctor said, was more an encephalitis state, where the body was so diseased. I mean, I had organ failure. I had sepsis infection, organ failure. The brain shuts down. And so most people don't survive that. 10, 15 minutes, ask your nurse friends, right? Doctor friends. 10, 15 minutes, someone arrives at the hospital in that condition, they're gone. I had to have the leakage for 3 days before they caught it.
Wow.
So clearly, there was a different plan for me. And it was only a day. So when I woke up, I thought it was the 29th. I had surgery on the 29th, so I thought, oh, it's the 30th. And she says 10 weeks later. And I'm like, and I don't hear anything. But what I hear is over to the side. And when I look, I have a trach here on the ventilator, tubes, NG tubes, feeding tubes everywhere. That's when you know it's serious and it's real.
Yeah, that is crazy.
And you know God kept you here for a purpose, because less than that happening, people have been left.
Well, I'm definitely grateful that you
Yes.
are still here, and
Still
the
here.
fact that you are using that to now live out your purpose.
Absolutely.
So, if you guys are just tuning in, this is Dr. Marlena on the show Passion for Purpose. As you guys know, we invite people to come on to show because they live their passion for purpose. So she is actually an author. So tell us about your book.
Well, my book is called Smells Like 5 a.m. So let me give you the setup on Smells Like 5 a.m. I always work early, so in order to get my workouts in, I go to the gym between 4 and 5. So back in the day, I'd go at 5 o'clock to the gym. And as I walk up, the trainer would say to me, it smells like 5 a.m. And the trainer was horrible to me, at least I thought, because he'd say, give me another rep. And I'd be like, no, because I want to quit, right? What do we do when things get hard? We just want to give up. I don't want to do this anymore. And the trainer would say, no, give me another one, Mo. I'm not going to let you give up. And so I said, okay. And then before I knew it, I'd get through a rep. A whole nother set, not just a rep, but a whole nother set. So when I was laying in that hospital bed, and I was strapped in, I mean, it wasn't the kind of thing of just laying there, leisurely. I was strapped in, could not walk, could not speak, could not write, brain kind of scrambled a little bit, but I had the wherewithal to tap into my 5 a.m. moment. And that became my battle cry, if you will, my mantra in my mind when they would come for physical therapy to get me up and walking again. I would go to that 5 a.m. when I was at my best in my mind, and I would use that to take the next step and the next step. And I'm talking about, these are painful steps, because it's amazing how the body will atrophy when you are laid up like that for 10 weeks. Remember, I'm there for 10 weeks. And when they first said to me, we're going to get you up to walk, I was like, I know how to walk. Psst, get out of here. And they strap you on this thing like a gurney, like a cot, and they put this big belt around you, and they put you up and your feet hit the ground, and I buckled. And had that belt not been there, had the loving arms of God not been there around me, I would have crumbled.
Wow.
Literally and physically.
Wow.
And so tapping into that 5 a.m. moment kept me going. And it became my testimony of triumph. And as I found, was finding my purpose. But it's also a collection of other stories, like the woman who, for example, she was an addict for 17 years. And she's been clean for 18 years. And she wanted to get her story out to others and didn't know how to. And I asked her, would she be kind enough to share it with me? And it smells like 5 a.m. And she says, absolutely.
Wow.
Or the Me Too movement right now. Fortunately for me, I am not part of that movement. I didn't have that experience, but I have someone that I know that did. And she's a big advocate for families right now because she believes that she was a victim because she didn't have a family. And so the perpetrator singled her out because she didn't have anyone else. And so now she makes sure that everyone has a family, whether it's by birth or by blood. Now, what kind of purpose? That's purpose.
Yeah.
To go around and make sure that if it's just her sitting there with someone, she adopted a young lady through correspondence and mail and everything in the Philippines. And the young lady just graduated. So she sent her money every month, and she just graduated. And she kept that family together because that young lady didn't have to go out and try and seek employment,
Right.
that may have taken her away. She could have been, that whole scenario.
Yeah.
Victim. So these are the stories that's in Smells Like 5 a.m. because these are those 5 a.m. moments when people are backs against the wall and they push through.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then their happily ever afters, essentially, they find their purpose.
They find their purpose.
And now they are just creating this ripple effect of beautifulness,
Yeah.
which is what we need. Hello, that's how we can change the world, right? Ripple effect.
Ripple effect. And when you find your purpose, you never work again.
1,000%.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
once you align to that, it becomes your heart. I'm a servant leader.
Yeah.
So I'm going to help others or nothing else. I mean, there's no other
Right.
options for me.
Right.
So I live
get
in
it.
that you understand?
Yeah,
There's
I
just no
get
other. I don't have to explain that. I'm going to help others get to whatever. Now, I'm not going to hand you anything.
Yeah, because that's not really
Yeah,
helping.
I'm
That's
not
enabling
gonna I'm
people.
not going to just hand you anything.
Yeah.
But together, we're going to soldier and we're going to journey.
Yes.
And I'm going to be accountable for you, and you be accountable back to me. And together, we do this partnership
Wow.
to usher the individual into their purpose.
So essentially, you're a coach. You're that 5 a.m. coach, huh?
Yeah, I like to look at I am that 5. I like that 5 a.m. coach.
Yoink!
I
She
like
was branded
that.
5
I like
a.m.
that
coach.
5 a.m. coach.
See what happens at Tribunity.
I like that. I like that. I normally refer to myself as a resource consultant because being an entrepreneur also, I know how to start a business, help you start yours, and get you going with that process as well. And along the way, ask those tough questions that you feel here in your gut. Those questions that you like, I don't know if I want to, I feel it, but I don't know what to do or how to act on it. Help them do that.
I love that. So how do people get to work with you?
Well, 2 ways. My website is get this purpose, the letter N, passion.com. So look at it. It was meant to be, right?
This is
right,
just perfect.
Right? So purpose, the letter N, and passion.com. There is actually an assessment there. Go on there, take the assessment. It's about, I think I have 11 questions to get you to get real with yourself. You start asking these questions, like, for example, is my cup half empty or half full? Something small like that.
Right.
Is my nest empty? And how do you feel about that becoming empty? So on an assessment on a scale of like a gas tank. So relationship, family, finances, and health. Where's your gas tank at? Are you a quarter, half, or are you full? If you are full, we don't. Let's go into another area, right?
Yeah.
So, say in your relationship with your children, you are a quarter at tank, and you really want to work on that. So this assessment makes you think about that, and there's a place for you to send your information, and I will personally contact you, and we'll talk about what that outcome should look like, or what you want it to look like. And then from there, there's a process that you can take to drive towards your vision. We have not because we ask not.
Yeah. And it's, in order to create your own reality and to, allow the universe to work with you, you do get to ask these tough questions. Yeah. Self-reflection is key here.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Absolutely. And, self-healing for sure.
Absolutely. You can tell me, you can give me answers all day long.
Right.
But when you get real with the person in the mirror, that's when you get real progress.
Yeah. And
you get to start taking those steps towards your purpose.
Yeah.
I also have on the website form is reading. Reading is fundamental. We used to hear that, growing up. Reading, but it really is. You need to connect, because if we knew it all, we wouldn't have this conversation, right? We would just be out doing our expert things because we know it all. But you need to read. And so on there, I have a section for you to go in and tap into some of the great minds that have written books about success. So, and then I personally like the Recovery Bible, because I believe everybody is recovering from something.
Totally. So
the Recovery Bible, it's all on there. You just go, you click, it takes you to wherever you need to go and purchase, the book. I don't get involved in that part of it, because this is not about trying to get your money, to be honest. This is about you trying to get focused. You getting focused on what is really important to you to live a quality life. And believe me, I'm a walking miracle. And finding your purpose gets you real with life. And while one thing, I'm not perfect, but I have peace. Peace in my life. Yeah. Because I live my purpose. See, God is on the throne, and I'm subjected to him in the throne. While I have problems every day. When I say problems, I have issues. Life itself happens.
Life likes it.
Yeah, but my chaos is ordered.
Yeah.
So at night, I rest well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. See, and people, we need constant reminders like that. I know I do, and don't get me wrong, I live my passion 24/7. Yeah. Definitely. But we tend to forget through all the hustle and bustle, right? So awesome. So let's give these guys, a few tips from Dr. Marlena yourself.
Okay, so a few tips to align to your purpose. One, know that when people say great people do great things, what they're really saying is that someone has an entrepreneurial spirit. And what they're doing with that entrepreneurial spirit, they're taking a widget, for example, and they're going to take that widget apart, and they're going to put it back together a different way and invent something new with it. So it's not about education, which it can be, because that was my path. To becoming a doctor, that was my path.
Right.
Doctor of Management, Organizational Development and Change. But it may not be the path for everyone. But the mindset that as an entrepreneur, that you can take anything, sort of back to my cookie, making that best cookie for some,
Right.
And making it your own, therefore developing something totally new and different. And then the other thing I would say is that maybe you don't know your why or your how you're going to get to your vision and your dream or your purpose. But know that it is your season. If you're listening to this, it's your season. I'm telling you, it's your season. Lean into your season and go forward. Very important. Action.
Yeah.
Action.
Definitely. Exactly. I mean, look, guys, Tribe Unity came about from essentially nothing.
Okay.
And it's just about making those steps because every move that I would make, it felt good. So I just followed that.
Absolutely.
I don't know how
Lean
or
into it.
why.
Yeah.
We just do.
And it's okay not to know. I
Yeah.
have friends and I love them dearly, little
Yeah. sisters
sisters and of mine. I love them dearly, but they always want to know, well, why is it this and why? Sometimes we will get to the whys, but just go forth. Make that first step.
Right.
I can guarantee you, I'm a living witness. God will order the rest.
Yeah.
He will add the increase. If you go for it,
Yeah.
He will multiply it for you.
1,000%. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's
Absolutely.
really about being comfortable
Yeah.
in being in question. It's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't know everything,
Absolutely.
and that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's good we don't know everything.
Exactly. Exactly. So, third tip.
Purpose, prayers, perseverance, and patience. If you have that in any order, you can face any situation. Sometimes you have to put your perseverance on your shoulder and just push through.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just got to sit back and pray about it and let go, let God.
Yeah.
But God says 3 things sometimes and we don't like. The first one, we like when he says yes, of course. And then the second one, he says no, and we don't like it, but we deal with it. But when God says wait, oh my God, we have no patience to wait. We want it now.
Right.
But that wait may not even be in our season. It may be in someone else's season, but we have to be able to press through.
Yeah.
And just hang in there.
Yeah. Definitely.
And if we do all of those, and follow our purpose, we never work. Like I said, we never work another day
Yeah.
because it comes from the heart. It becomes a love.
Yeah.
Those
1,000%.
are my 3 tips.
Amazing. Thank you so much
You're
for that.
welcome.
I just want to add something towards the end where, you talk about patience because, I mean, I get it, guys. I can get impatient too. I'm just like any other entrepreneur. We bust our butt and we're like, where the money at, And even with the success, with more and more businesses, more responsibility comes more bills. So it's always like,
always.
how do we go about this? But really, what I love, and this is what I got to constantly remind myself about patience, is the fact that, you know what, if you were like, God, I am hungry, and God just rained down a whole bunch of food in front of you, you can't eat all of it all at once. You gotta take your time and you gotta savor the meals.
Hey, I have to remind you, he did that. And you know what they did when he rained the manna down and all they had to do was go out and pick it up and eat? They still complained.
Yeah, of course.
Right? So.
Definitely. Well, wow, this is so awesome, so enlightening. I love it. We
Thank
definitely have so much more to talk about.
Absolutely.
So definitely expect her back on this show.
Oh, it's fabulous. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see, when is your book coming out?
I'm hoping by the fall.
Okay.
So we're almost done and we're going to get it off to the publisher by the fall.
Awesome.
So a Christmas present for everybody, right?
Yeah, there you go. Find your purpose for Christmas.
Yes.
Great time right before New Year's.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely. Well, just so you know, and I mentioned this before, and just so you guys know, people, you guys, if you guys are writing a book, we have connections to publishers that can really help you do it.
Awesome.
Publish your books, get it out there, market it. It's a one-stop shop. Well, Tribe Unity is a one-stop shop, but definitely for book-wise, we definitely have that connection for you guys. So very briefly, I'm just going to, while I have Dr. Marlena here, because, we talk about passion for purpose, here at Tribe Unity, we support those creative entrepreneurs, those creative influencers that want to use their passion for purpose, or even those people that are just trying to find their passion. Here at the Tribe Unity headquarters, we actually just came up with an awesome program. We're calling it the Tribe Club right now, where essentially just for $17.27, they get full access to our headquarters here in downtown Los Angeles. What happens is they get professional photography, photo shoot once a month. They also get to attend seminars, panels, conferences, where they can actually better themselves. So influencers can learn how to use a camera. Musicians
awesome.
can learn how to be in the
Really?
studio.
Oh, yes.
And we even have guided meditation classes, emotional intelligence programs. The list goes on and on, because here at Tribe Unity, we're all about aligning with your passion in order to create it into reality together. It's all about co-creating, for sure. So make sure you guys check that out at truepassions.com. That's TRU passions.com. And once again, please, how can they find you?
Purpose in the letter N, passion.com, or you can email me at Marlena at purposeinpassion.com, and I'm glad to respond to you.
Awesome. I love that. See, and it's so amazing. Like, this was definitely synchronicity.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. It's so amazing. And we're on the show Passion for Purpose. So thank you guys once again. My name is V Fournier. This is Dr. Marlena. You can find us at anything Tribe Unity, TRIBEUNITY. If you have a passion and you use it for purpose, please come join us on the show. We would love to have you. Please, 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 please share this so we can start to spread positivity, start to spread people's voices like Dr. Marlena's, who has such a phenomenal story. Thank you again so much for joining us.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you guys. We love you. We will see you again very soon.